Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope you are as excited as Stephen and I am. Stephen doesn't smile much, but he's really excited on the inside. I promise. I know it. Appreciate everybody hopping on. We had like over 100 school owners register for this. This is actually our second year doing this. We did this last year in December as well. And I guess, you know, we got to keep the pattern going, Stephen. So I guess we'll do it next year too, right?
Of course.
Awesome. So we're going to get started in about 90 seconds. Just want to let everybody log on. While we're waiting, if you've ever been on any of our trainings, we like to see engagement in that chat box. It like fills us up. So do me a favor, in the chat box, can you just comment the main style of martial arts that you teach? I know you probably teach more than one, but just if you had to say, what is the main style? And I'll drop mine, which is jujitsu. See a lot of taekwondo. Ooh, see some skills. I know Market Muscles has a ton of skills clients. GrowPro, we also have a ton of skills clients. Very cool. And the people just keep coming on in. All right. Lots of note taking. I think that there is something that happens, especially if you go pen to paper. But I know that's not everybody's favorite medium. Me personally, I like the iPad. So it's, you know, kind of this iPad pencil to the iPad, but definitely want you to have some form of note taking. Also, I know probably about 50% of you have your Facebook tab open. So go ahead and close that out because we want your undivided attention. Stephen and I have put a lot of time and effort. We actually did a keynote at Seven Figure CEO event on 2022 marketing trends. Now, this is a completely separate presentation, but we've really been thinking about this a lot. You know, we live in this digital marketing world, so we're excited. We're going to kind of, Stephen's going to go ahead and present his aspect of, you know, marketing trends in regards to website and SEO, and then I'll take over afterwards, and we're going to be unpacking marketing trends for paid ads and social media marketing, okay? If you guys are ready and pumped, go ahead, drop a 1 in the comment. Let's see how many ones we can get. Boom. There we go. Awesome. All right, Stephen, do your thing.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I appreciate everybody joining today. Like Chris said, this is the second year that we had this opportunity to do this, and it is always a big webinar for us, just because I know everybody's super excited about the new year and all of the exciting things that's happening in the website and marketing space. So really excited to be here and share some of these things with you. But some of the things that I'm going to talk about today, and this happened at the Seven Figure CEO event, some of these things you've heard in the past, but I'm going to shed some new light and why it matters and why you should be paying attention to it more now than ever. So let's go ahead and hop in. So there's some stats that I want to share with you guys. As I was doing some research and putting together this presentation, there are some pretty incredible stats that I was able to pull that really just, you know, sheds light on how important some of these things are that we're going to be talking about. But the first stat here is 8 out of 10 people will stop engaging with your website if it doesn't display well on their device. Now, we all know that having a mobile responsive website is extremely important, but when you look at a stat like this, that 80% of users will drop off your website if they're having a bad experience on their mobile device, it really shows how important it is to have a great looking website on those devices. The second stat is 2 out of 3 people prefer to use websites that are well designed. All right. So I know design seems like a kind of like a selective thing or something that's very personal, but there are design standards when it comes to websites. And it's one of the reasons why Market Muscle's websites work so well in terms of converting people that are browsing your website into leads. It has a lot to do with the design and a lot of the decision making when it comes to the design itself. The third stat is that 83% of people will not revisit a website if there's too much content. Okay, so this is, I thought, just a really interesting stat here, because your website needs to have a good mix of content when it comes to text, images, and white space. Okay, and what I mean by white space is the breakup of text and images and not having a really long paragraph of text. It really helps with guiding people through your website, intentionally leading them to what you want them to do, which is eventually fill out their information. And we all know that people's attention span is getting lower and lower, right? So we really need to be mindful when we're looking at our website and utilizing content, images, and white space.
Hey, Stephen, can I ask a quick question? Because I get asked this question often on websites. Yep. How important is it for us to, have a page on our website that has all of our accolades, right? A super long bio and all of the awards that we won. How important, do you think that is? Is it a necessity? And in regards to Market Muscle clients, where do you see the websites that perform better? Do they have that? Do they don't? Just kind of your thoughts on that, because I get asked this question a lot.
Yeah, it's almost worthless to put those sorts of things on your website. And I know that everyone is super proud of the things that they've achieved, especially when it comes to martial arts, because we all know how tough that journey can be. But when it comes to customers, and we've all heard this before, but which radio station are they tuned to? It's the WIIFM, right? What's in it for me? So they don't care about all these things that you've achieved in the past. It's okay for establishing the fact that you're a professional, but most likely having a professional website in the first place will do that for you. So having those sorts of things on your website, they're just not very important. It should really be built specifically about how you can help that person reach whatever goal they're looking to achieve.
Awesome. Thank you for answering. And Mr. Smith, yeah. So guys, if you have questions, drop them in the comments and we'll answer them after the presentation. Cool.
All righty. And then 48% of people see web design as an indication of a business's credibility. So like I just said, people will judge you on your website and automatically associate how professional your business is based on their experience on your website. So if they get the least bit frustrated while using your website because it doesn't look good or buttons aren't big enough or it's not answering the questions that they have, you do have the potential to lose that customer forever. All right, so just a couple of things to be mindful here as we go through. But the first topic I want to talk about is video. And this isn't a new one, but it's something that is extremely important, especially when it comes to your website and your SEO performance. So using video, users will spend 88% more time on websites that use video. And the reason why this is so important when it comes to your SEO and engaging users is I always look at a website as the digital way that people can kind of take a step into your martial arts school without actually doing it. And there's no better way to do that than by using good quality video that shows things like your school, your culture, your students, right? And putting that on your website is extremely important. So when it comes to SEO, the longer that people are staying on your website, the higher you're going to rank as well. There's this thing called bounce rate when people come to your website and if they leave immediately, Google is tracking those sorts of things when it comes to your ranking. So by integrating video onto your website and specifically in the banner area, which we're going to talk about here in just a minute, it'll capture people's attention immediately and make them stay on your website for longer. So if your website is currently not utilizing video in the top banner area, it's something that you really want to take into consideration, make that investment to hire a videographer or use that incredible tool that's in your pocket and record some videos so that way it can be put together and put on your website. Now, another incredibly important thing when it comes to video is that when it's on your website, it's great to have it autoplay as a background video and put a little play button, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But something to be mindful of is that you don't have video play on mobile. And the reason why you don't want to have video play on mobile is because you don't know which connection people are connecting to your website with, right? You don't know if they're connected to Wi-Fi or if they have a poor reception. And if you have video that automatically plays, it's going to make your website load extremely slow. And like we talked about before, when it comes to Google and the things that they're looking at, bounce rate is one of those things, as well as website speed. So you definitely want to have the video autoplay on desktop, but on mobile, you would prefer to have an image, and then you have a play button that they can actually hit, so that way they can watch the video and make that decision for themselves. All right, so this is typically how we set up our websites. If you want to take a look at an example, just go to onemartialarts.com. This is a site that uses a video in the banner. You can get a good idea of what that video looks like, and then you can check it out on a mobile device and see the difference of how those two look. Cool. And then the third thing about video here is that 64% of consumers are more likely to buy after watching a promotional video. So I always like to use a video that doesn't have any text as the video that is loading in the background, but then you have a play button that people can either click on, or it could be further down on your page that has more of a talking head, you know, mixed in with some clips of your students and your culture and things like that. And then I love to always end those sorts of videos with a call to action. So this is what the person should be doing on your website. Okay, so those are two different videos that are used for two different specific places. But looking at these statistics specifically, you can see where both of them make a huge impact when it comes to your website. So if you haven't invested in creating these sorts of videos before, highly suggest doing it, and really suggest adding it into your website. Cool. Second point we're going to talk about is responsive design.
And Mr. Morales, we'll get to your question once Steven's done, okay?
Perfect. All right, so 93% of Google searches come from mobile devices. So this stat actually supports what we see when we look at our entire client base and their websites. You know, we host currently roughly 800 martial arts websites. We can see statistics about how many people are coming from mobile devices, and it's typically 80% plus are coming on their mobile device. So we need to make sure that things are looking incredible on a mobile device. And even Google is now prioritizing websites that have great experiences on mobile devices as well, right? So things need to be large enough to click on. This is something that Google will always be looking at. Are your buttons large enough? They have a standard that you must meet. And then in addition, are things accessible from people's thumbs, right? And if we think about the way that we hold our phone, a lot of people, they'll grab it like this, and then they use their thumb to actually scroll and move around, right? And you see this adjustment. I don't know if any of you use iPhones, but there was a recent update that updated Safari where they took the search bar, or the bar where you type in the website address, and they moved it to the bottom, right? And the reason why they did that is so that way it's more accessible to people's thumbs and it's not as hard to reach up at the top of the screen, right? So these are considerations that these big brands are making, and it's the same considerations that you need to be making with your website as well. Okay, and it might seem small or silly, but these are the types of things that will stand between somebody actually filling out their information on your website or not, right? So making sure that everything is accessible, large enough on a mobile device, and easy to read is going to be really key when it comes to your website. And like
kind of crazy that we live in a world where if you don't want to move your thumb even 1 to 2 inches, that you just won't do it, right? This is a great point. I didn't even recognize that they made that update. Awesome share.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, it seems silly, but it really is the difference between somebody filling out their information or hitting back and going to another website. So it's super important. Like I mentioned before, Google now focuses on mobile first indexing. So what does this mean? It means it's looking at how fast your website loads, but not on a desktop, but on a mobile device, right? And there's websites that you can do to test this and see how fast your website's loading on a mobile device. And it does specific criteria where it's like a mobile device on a Wi-Fi network, a mobile device on a 5G network, and it takes all of these things into consideration. In addition, they look at the content of your website on a mobile device. Because it's possible to have different content on your website based on whether they're on a mobile or a desktop device, Google always looks at mobile first, and that's how they make their decision of how they're ranking people now. So things that you really want to be aware of when it comes to this is how fast it's loading on mobile, right? So we talked about not having videos autoplay, but also the size of your images is really important as well. These need to be optimized, something that we do automatically with Market Muscle sites, but if you don't use it, you really want to take a look at things like that. And then we talked about, button sizes, text legibility, things like that are also things that Google is always looking at and considering when it comes to your ranking specifically. Cool. And then the last piece that I have to share with you guys is local SEO. So 46% of searches on Google are local searches now, right? So that's people using a specific search with near me at the end or close by at the end, right? And that's an astronomical number. And knowing that 46% of people are searching this way, you can use this to your benefit. Okay, so when you're thinking about content ideas for your blog, you want to target certain keywords that people are searching for. Okay, so you can either hop on the Google keyword tool that they have specifically for looking up keywords and recommended searches. And a little ninja hack for seeing what people are searching in your area is if you type into Google karate, it'll automatically drop down and try to complete your search based on what other people near you are searching for as well. So you can take those into consideration when you're coming up with blog ideas. But knowing that roughly 50% of searches are local searches, people searching with near me or close by in it, you should start creating blog posts with those specific keywords in there as well. And then the second piece with local SEO is zero-click searches are on the rise. So let's define what a zero-click search is. Zero-click searches is someone that goes onto Google, they search something, let's just say karate classes near me, and then they find the information that they're looking at without ever leaving Google and going to your website. Okay, so this is happening more and more. So what does this mean for you? You need to really focus on optimizing your Google My Business profile. Okay, so 50% of people are doing this with their searches. So it's really important to do this. And I know Cris has shared incredible webinars on this topic specifically. If you want to go check those out on how to set up your Google My Business page. But there's, in my opinion, 3 key things that you need to focus on. One is the completion of your profile. So this is all your information filled out, images, videos uploaded, things like that. The second is implementing a review strategy. And there's a lot of different ways you can do this, but you should be always looking to grow the amount of reviews that you have on your page. I think the ultimate goal is to have triple digits and then push from there. So if you aren't there yet, then you need to really implement a review strategy. And then the third thing is posting on your Google My Business page often, just like you do with your other pages, Facebook, Instagram, right? So you can post on Google My Business like that. You can share the content if you want to, but keeping that active and updated will help you rank higher when it comes to your local listing itself. Cris, do you have anything to add regarding Google My Business?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of like the best kept digital marketing secret. Many, when we do free marketing audits for martial arts schools, we audit their Google My Business listing. And typically this is the one that needs the most work. They're not posting. They don't have their services listed. They don't have offers on there. They're not updating photos frequently into the photo album. They're not utilizing keywords in their profile. They don't complete it like you said. And I just think it is really one of the things that if you spent about 30 minutes just getting everything set up, it doesn't take that much longer. And you can actually post on there. So as you're doing your social media posting, taking whatever you posted on Facebook and Instagram and putting it on there, which, what would take 3 to 5 minutes a day, this can really move the needle, a lot farther. And, obviously Google is always making changes. If you look at the Google search engine results page today, even compared from 5 years ago to 10 years ago, they are prioritizing Google My Business listings. And in other service-based industries, they're even doing things like providing #1 rated plumber in the Tampa Bay area. You can actually earn badges on your Google My Business listing. Now, they haven't brought this over to the martial arts industry, but they are doing it for a lot of other local services. And, for me, one of the most important aspects of your Google My Business listing are your reviews. We've actually, I dropped the link to the Google My Business webinar in the chat box. If you guys want to optimize Google My Business, check that out. And I also did how to hit 100 Google reviews as a free webinar as well. And you can access all of these webinars on the growproagency.com website by scrolling down to the bottom. So I just think, like I said, it's kind of the best kept secret, and not enough schools give it enough attention. And especially with the way that Google is making changes, they are prioritizing this zero-click search, which is where your Google My Business profile would come into play.
Awesome. Cool. So those are the three key things that I really believe everybody should be focusing on. So again, just to recap, there's your video piece, the mobile responsive or responsive design, and then third is your local SEO. Of course, if you are a customer of Market Muscles, a lot of these things we take care of for you. So, you don't really have to worry about that too much. And just quickly wanted to bring attention to an event that we're hosting February 3rd through 5th, 2022 in Suffolk, Virginia. I know a lot of you are signed up already, which is awesome. But if you are a customer of Market Muscles or you'd like to come as a guest, we will have an incredible lineup, and we'll be speaking on a lot of different topics when it comes to websites and marketing. And of course, Cris will be there, so you get to meet Cris in person. So
yeah, super pumped for that. Stephen, we had a couple of questions.
Yes.
And maybe if you could also, once we're done, drop a link to the Movement Summit in the chat so that everybody, that's interested can find out more info. Yep. But Mr. Smith asked, in regards to the bio question on the website, if they are a Market Muscle site customer, are they good? Do they automatically get that, bio in the navigation bar, or how does that work? Because I do know there are some Market Muscle clients that like to have that information, but I'm pretty sure it's not standard as the template.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good to show off your staff, right? Because like I said, your website is that digital step that people can take into your school. And your goal when it comes to your website is to build trust with your website browser or users. So that way they move forward and fill out their information. So it is good to have it on your website. Just know that it isn't the most important piece, and it shouldn't be on your homepage. So if you do want to set up a staff page, that's totally cool. We can set that up for you. It goes in your navigation bar, either underneath the About section or as its own navigation item, but it shouldn't be front page and center.
Awesome. Mr. Morales said he has a videographer coming in today for the entire day. He's going to edit and produce a 1-minute video for social media ads. How long should the video for the Market Muscle website be? What's the recommendation for that?
Yeah, so for the website background video, 30 seconds is fine, and it'll automatically loop through, so you don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to the promotional video, I think you're spot on with coming up with like a 1-minute video roughly, right? Because you want to make it informational, exciting, but not too long, because you're going to lose people's interest if it is too long. So more than likely, you can have your videographer take your 1-minute promotional video and put together a 30-second one that doesn't have any text on it. It's just, videos of your school and things like that. And I'm sure they do that for, probably no additional charge or very little.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you think of, the really popular social media apps like TikTok and Instagram and utilizing Reels, and we just see it because we run ads for hundreds of schools, shorter is better. All right. I know sometimes we want to produce these like mini films and telling our entire story. But for things like your website and specifically your ads, shorter is better. Next question was how much, and I think this is a great question. I get asked this often in regards to SEO and rebranding. How much will it hurt search engine optimization and other important aspects of a website when rebranding a business name?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of considerations when it comes to that. It's definitely something that you have to be super committed to, something that you have to understand that you will probably drop in your rankings for a little bit when you're going through a rebranding and changing your domain name. But for those that are doing it, it's okay, right? Like it's a natural progress. I think it's okay to make that leap. But there are certain things that you want to make sure that you're doing so that way Google knows that, hey, we're changing from this name to this name. Okay. And the biggest thing is setting up what are called 301 redirects that are basically telling Google, hey, this used to be my domain, but now it's this, or this used to be my about page, and now it's this. Right. And this is something that we can help with, of course, if you are a customer and you're changing your domain name. But these are like the key indicators that Google is looking for when you do change your domain name. So one other thing I guess is that's, I guess, sort of on topic is your domain and how long it's been registered for has a lot to do with how well you rank as well. So let's just say you've had your existing domain for 10 years and you're rebranding and you just bought it. You will see a little bit of a drop just because your website domain is brand new, right? So a lot of people, what they'll do is when they register their domain, they'll buy something like tampamartialarts.com, because regardless of what their actual school name changes to, if they're still in the same city, then cool, they can use that same domain name. But on the flip side, the other side of that coin is if you move your city, let's say you move from Tampa to Clearwater, then you have an issue there, right? So it's kind of a trade-off on both sides. So either way, if you are changing your school name, I think it's okay to go for it. Just know that there will be a little bit of a setback initially, and then you should regain your rank as long as everything is done properly.
Awesome. Joe Lozon. Has anybody ever seen a Joe Lozon UFC fight? You've probably seen a lot of blood if you've watched him fight. Joe is asking, or he said, love your content, love my Market Muscle website. Do you think it would help to add videos to all of our program pages, or should we leave it as it is?
No, if you can afford to create specific videos for each program, I think it's a great idea. A lot of people use their program pages as landing pages, meaning they run traffic directly to their program pages from Facebook ads or Google ads or something like that. So there is a chance people aren't seeing your homepage video. So I think it's a great idea to add it to your program pages specifically.
Awesome. And then Master Bolts asked suggested scripts or content for these videos, not a video guy. I can take this one, but if you want to give your, okay. So this is actually a project we've been working on for our GrowPro clients. We have kind of these like standardized scripts that we send out for videos, but we've had clients asking for much more specific video scripts depending on the time of the year. So we actually just started using a method called hook, line, and sinker. And we will be providing these video scripts for all of our clients, and it'll happen every single month. Now, it's a 12-step process for this hook, line, and sinker. And this is actually an upcoming webinar that I hope you guys will attend as well. But Master Bolts, I'll just kind of show you the framework. And when you have a framework, it makes it so much easier to plug and play, as opposed to just staring at a blank sheet of paper and trying to write out a script, right? None of us, I'm going to assume most of us didn't go to school for copywriting or direct response copywriting, but this is actually something that has been very top of mind for us here at GrowPro. So I'll just go ahead and share this. And this is kind of the framework that we are going to be using for ads, which would work just as well for a video. And, this is probably about a minute long video. So we kick it off with a hook, right? We've got to get them hooked in. An if-then statement works really well for this. So if you're a parent in the Tampa Bay area, then you're going to want to listen to this, right? If-then. And then we got to discuss what the problem is. Chances are your kids are on their screens nonstop, especially with the recent holiday break. And then we're going to go into status quo. As a parent, you want your child to put down the device willingly and do something constructive and healthy. And then we're going to disrupt the pattern by asking the questions. Don't you agree? Then we go into our solution. That's why at Gracie Pack, we're offering our Break the Screen Routine Challenge for the new year. We break down the features. Parents whose kids train at Gracie Pack see an increase in confidence, discipline, and respect due to our one-of-a-kind life skill martial arts classes. Then we break down the benefits. Our students love our high-paced, fun, action-packed training, and our parents love their kids learning how to defend themselves while making new friends without a screen involved. Then we want to get a reaction from them. You won't believe the results. So if you're ready for a new and fun activity for your child, we then present the call to action. Click the link below to grab our Break the Screen Routine Challenge. Throw some urgency on there. Don't put this off any longer. We only have 20 specials available, and then we sign off. Okay, now I know I just kind of threw a lot at you, but this is an example of having a framework that you can plug and play different scripts for. And this is something that we're going to be sending out to all of our clients. We're really excited about that because we got some feedback that they wanted a little bit more specific scripts. Now, the other aspect of it, if you're hiring a videographer, really great videographers should be able to help you storyboard depending on what the video is for. So, you know, to me, if you're hiring a professional and they're coming in, you really shouldn't be the one that should have to storyboard this because that is their expertise. But if you had a solid framework that you could present to them and say, hey, this is the framework I want to use, they can help you with that as well. But I do think a professional videographer, part of being a professional is helping their clients storyboard and bring it to life. Does that help a little bit, Master Bolts? Good. Okay, awesome. Stephen, before I hop into my session, anything else you wanted to? Those were all of the questions, guys. If you have any other questions, we're going to do another Q&A at the back. Mr. Morales said, can I get that in advance? Yes, sir. I will email it to you right when we are done because your videographer's coming today. Would videos for a program page include more of that script or video of classes? Stephen, what do you guys typically see when clients are sending in program page videos? I'm assuming they're kind of specific more to that class because many clients use it as a landing page.
Yeah, exactly. So the background video will be shots of the actual classes for that specific program. And then you would probably, if you're going to take the script template that Cris provided here, I think, which is great, you would just want to create one for each program because the pain points and the needs of the specific person based on the program that they're looking for will be different, right? So you can just shoot a couple different versions of that video and then just put it on each program page. So that's how I suggest doing it.
Awesome. All right, guys. So we're going to shift gears now. I'm going to take over and start doing some paid ads and social media, and then we'll have another Q&A at the end as well. So let me go ahead and share my screen here, and let's dive in. Your 2022 marketing plan for paid ads and social media. I'm kind of sticking with the same format that Stephen utilized in regards to stats. And let me also just get my chat box open so I can see when questions come in. Okay, so this is a big one, guys. We are in retail season right now. Okay, if you look at CPM, all right, which all CPM is and this is specific to paid ads, is how much it costs you to show your ad to 1,000 people. Okay. Typically, in the beginning of the year, January of 2021, so let's use actual data that's provided from Facebook. In January of this year, CPMs were around $12. Right now, in December of 2021, they are around $18. There's a $6 increase just to be able to show the same amount of people your ads. Now, why is this happening? Well, let me ask you guys if you could participate. How many advertisers do you think Facebook adds each year? Drop that in the chat box. How many advertisers, so people that are actually running paid ads, is Facebook adding every year? Not a billion, but 1 million. 1 million advertisers every single year are hopping on Facebook to advertise. And what the reason why we're not seeing as great results right now in this time period is because of e-commerce, okay? E-commerce exploded in 2020 because brick and mortar retailers had no other option than to go online. The same way that we had to go online, so did brick and mortar retailers. And we are in retail season right now. And because of this widespread access to fast internet, to tools that you don't have to worry about coding, to drop shipping, the barrier is lower than ever for e-com. And how do you think e-commerce advertises? Facebook ads, okay? So because of that, there is a higher cost per 1,000 impressions, which is CPM. It's up 40% from the beginning of this year. And what this ultimately leads us to is one conclusion: the Facebook marketplace is becoming saturated, especially right now. And this is one of the things that we have to make very clear before bringing clients on, is that it's no longer 2012, it's no longer 2015, it's no longer 2019. COVID sped up the amount of businesses getting online and advertising on the platform. It's supply and demand, it's an auction. So you're not gonna get the same results that you did 4 or 5 years ago. How many of you have filled up your gas tanks recently? Is it more expensive right now? Yes, same thing going to the grocery stores, okay? So I think that that's important if you are advertising online, is to have proper expectations, okay? The next stat is 82% of marketers are using content marketing, okay? 82%. And the video is the #1 most commonly used form, which is why I was so pumped to see that Mr. Morales has a videographer coming in, okay? Now, what is content marketing? It's just marketing that is informative and useful material that provides insight and value. This webinar that Stephen and I are doing right now, this is content marketing, okay? Now, you can utilize it through blogs and social media posts, posting graphics and videos, and this ultimately will help attract potential customers, keep them engaged, and can move them further along the sales funnel. And I'm going to break down exactly what you guys can implement with each one of these, okay? And then finally, 80% of consumers are more likely to make a purchase when personalization is involved. People want to be able to put a face behind your brand, okay? When you personalize the experience, it makes your brand more human. And so many companies are using automations that this is really your chance to stand out. Now, why don't more martial arts schools utilize personalization? Well, because not all of it can be automated. So it requires a little bit more sweat equity, but in my opinion, it pays off, okay? I mean, everybody can see my hat here, right? This is our tagline at Gracie Pack: hard work pays off. So let's go into each one of these individual trends, okay? So trend #1, if you wanna be able to combat the rising Facebook ad costs, your creative matters more than ever, as does your offer, okay? What do I mean by creative? I mean by the pictures and videos that you are utilizing, okay? What we have found, especially over the last 2 years, is that your typical like generic ads, they fatigue out much faster. So these like templated ads that a lot of agencies use, if a client does not supply us with videos, if they do not supply us with authentic images, we have no other choice but to use a generic ad. And I talk to Stephen about this often, that this is one of the hardest things for us as an agency to get from our clients, are creatives, right? It's like they just don't want to film the video, whether it's because they don't think they have the time, or maybe they don't feel confident on video. But video is king. I want to give a shout out to Mr. and Mrs. DePena. They're on here. They're GrowPro clients. They are slaying it with videos, but they take the time and the energy to put them out. Okay. So this is ultimately your creative. I mean, think about when you're scrolling on Facebook, what catches your eye and makes your thumb stop? Okay, that's the type of creative we want to use in our own ads. And I do believe that getting good on video, feeling comfortable on video is a skill set that you should develop. Ideally, you as the owner. Okay, now, if it is completely outside of your wheelhouse, and for some people it is, my suggestion would be, well, you need to practice a little bit more. But somebody on your team has got to feel comfortable in front of the camera. Okay, utilizing stock images and stock video is not going to humanize your brand. We also want to make sure that we keep it short. I had stated earlier when we were talking about lengths of videos that if you look at the major social media platforms that are really thriving with video, like TikTok, like Instagram, these videos are short. They're not super long. Now, TikTok did eventually extend the length of the videos from when they first launched, but they're still under 60 seconds, okay? We have been here at GrowPro, been studying TikTok really, really hard, taking a ton of master classes, and we've been testing TikTok ads. And this is something that we're going to bring to the industry. But my major concern, I was telling Stephen about this, is in order for this to be successful, guess what the school owner has to do? They've got to get on camera. So in my opinion, with where the internet is continuing to go with Web 3.0, getting comfortable filming and leveraging video is ultimately going to help you combat higher Facebook ad costs. And the other aspect of this, at the end of the day, you can't outmarket a bad offer. I had a client send me a Facebook message for their January campaign they wanted to do, and it was like $199 for the offer. And we just don't see higher ticket items for service-based work well with Facebook ads. It's just something you've got to consider. You typically need to keep these offers under $99 if you're expecting people to purchase a service-based offer that is local in their area that they have to come into. Okay, so the number one way for you to combat these Facebook ad costs is to have better creatives. And it's something, again, that I do think you should work on leveling up your skill set on. Okay. Number two, and this is something I am, really, really passionate about, is that we are in the era of creators. And I think this is something that most school owners can be really successful with, because if you are a great instructor, you are a great educator, you are a great teacher. And we have just really entered this time period where instead of being this hard seller, if you can be an educator, it's going to be incredibly valuable to your audience, okay? So there's lots of different types of content that's out there: blogging, video, podcasting, infographics, email, ebooks, lead magnets, checklists, social media posts. I mean, even a brochure, even a pamphlet is a type of content marketing. Now, some of these options are better in other industries, right? Like, Stephen, do you have a podcast?
Yep.
What's it called?
The Market Muscles Podcast.
The Market Muscles Podcast. I have a podcast as well. It's called Seven Figure CEO. It lends better to our type of industry, which is B2B, as opposed to B2C, right? I wouldn't necessarily tell a school owner, hey, that if you're trying to get local people into your martial arts school, that podcasting is where you should spend your time and your energy. Now, if it's something that you enjoy and you do have something to share, maybe it's parenting tips, then, if it's something you want to spend your time and energy on, fine, but it's not really ideal for the martial arts industry. So you've got to figure out what are the types of content that are going to move the needle the most. I would think Stephen would definitely agree that blogging is one of them so that your website can rank higher for SEO. I think we both in our presentation have really been hammering in the importance of video. If you have a website, you should have some form of a lead magnet, which is just basically, hey, if you give us your information, we are going to provide you with this. Stephen, what is kind of the standard market muscle lead magnet that you guys put on the website? And I know it's different depending on the different programs that they offer, right?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think the lowest barrier one that we put on people's website is essentially the schedule and the special offer, right? Because every martial arts school has that. They don't have to come up with the content for that, really. But then, yes, we do have specific ones for each program as well. It could be as simple as, 5 tips to boost your child's confidence, something like that. And, you can create one of these for each program. And the amazing thing about these lead magnets is that they can be repurposed, right? So you can use it for your lead magnet. You can use it for your blog posts. You can use it as a social media post in the future, right? So there's lots of ways to maximize your content production.
I love it. And guys, I want you to think for a second. So, Stephen and I are in masterminds. He's in one for software as a service, and I'm in one for digital marketing agencies. And could you imagine like an accountant, like what type of video would an accountant be able to shoot that would really intrigue people? I mean, they're sitting at a computer all day staring spreadsheets. Look at what we do. Martial arts, like it's the coolest thing to watch. So we really have got to focus on video and investing time, energy, and money to level that up. Okay. So don't go out and start your own podcast. Focus on the things that are going to move the needle the most with your content. And in regards to content marketing, you just got to ask yourself, is it informative and is it entertaining? All right. So like right now, are you guys being informed? Absolutely. Are you being entertained? I hope so. I hope you're having a decent time with Stephen and I. Okay. So those are the 2 questions you've got to ask when you're putting out content is it informative and is it entertaining? Because for most people, they're going on Facebook, they're going on Instagram because they're bored and they're looking to be entertained. Now there's 8 major benefits. So if you're not convinced on becoming a creator, on becoming an educator, on leveraging a skill set that I already know you have, you would have not opened a martial arts school if you didn't love to teach. And typically, if you love something and you spend a lot of time doing it, you get pretty good at it. So content marketing is going to allow your audience to stick around longer. They're going to build trust between you and the company, or you and the prospect. It will help you generate better leads, and it's going to make you become more visible, right? Stephen talked earlier about the effects with your search engine optimization. This one is my favorite. You will be in authority, okay? If you think about labeling somebody as an expert, who do we label as experts? It's usually 2 types of people. It's an author or it's a speaker. And before the internet, really, if you were going to be an expert speaker, you had to do it on stage. Now we can all do that with content marketing and being in front of a camera. Okay. It's going to help you build brand awareness. It's going to cultivate loyal fans. So we have something called a brand ambassadors program inside of our school. That really helps to get us more referrals, and you're going to save money on your marketing strategy if you take the time to put out organic content marketing. Okay. The last thing I want to touch on is personalized marketing. This is something that we've been doing at Gracie Pack for many years. And again, I think we all look for those automations. Stephen, you have a pretty strong opinion on automations, on, what can you ask yourself before deciding to put those automations out? Can you share that?
Yeah, I love automations, but you always want to be mindful of whether you're making your life easier or if you're making the customer's life easier when it comes to automations. And as soon as you start going over to just making your life easier and not the customer's life easier, then you've hit a pretty dangerous point, in my opinion.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. So in regards to personalized marketing for your prospects, this is pretty interesting. When a new lead comes in, most martial arts schools have automation set up where they get an automated email and an automated text message. Okay. One of the things that we started testing, which ultimately helped to increase our schedule rate, was we still have that automated email go out and we still have that automated text message go out, but we also started sending personalized videos. Okay. And we just do that through an app on our phone, right through our mobile device. If you're using a landline on your at your school, it's going to be a little bit difficult to do. But we saw the increased schedule rate go from 50% to 90% on a free offer just by taking 10 seconds and filming selfie style. Hey, this is Coach Cris from Gracie Pack. We saw that you were interested in our kids martial arts program. We'd love to get you scheduled in for your free one-on-one. Literally, it takes 10 seconds to be able to send that. And I want you to ask, how many of the other martial arts schools in your area do you think are sending personalized videos? They're not. Okay. And this is something that can really set you apart from your competitors, and it's going to help you increase your show rates. Okay. Retention. Here are a couple of examples. You know, everybody wants to talk about recruiting. Here are a couple of examples that you can do for retention. So when a new student signs up, sending a new student welcome video from the instructor and saying, we can't wait to see you in whatever specific time block that they chose. Maybe they chose like your Tuesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. class, okay? Very simple. We do this every single Monday after our level 10 meeting. Our instructor gets on the mat, quick selfie style, and sends this out to everybody that enrolled the previous week. Okay, we like batching it as opposed to doing it one at a time. It's just kind of easier to keep it all together with batching. Another example, if you have an upgrade program and you nominate somebody to your upgrade program, sending a nomination video, or if they do upgrade, sending them a welcome video. Again, this takes maybe 10, 20 seconds to do. We've always sent out personalized birthday videos at the beginning of each month. Our head instructor, for everybody that has a birthday, shoots a quick video. It's got to be about under 15 seconds, and we schedule these out in Gmail's Boomerang app. So Gmail has an app called Boomerang that will allow you to schedule these out, and we schedule them out for the entire month. This isn't something you can really batch more than a month out. Like if you were thinking, oh, I'll just do this for the entire year or the entire quarter. Well, it doesn't take into consideration your new students who signed up that have a birthday that's coming up. Okay. And then finally, just milestones and congratulations. Okay. We actually received some cupcakes this morning from Min Wilson of Encourage Martial Arts. They were looking to hire GrowPro, and they have like a ton of schools, and it actually made more sense for them to just hire an in-person marketer than have us, market for 8+ schools. And we took the time to work with them. And, this is kind of the training that your in-person marketer would need to do. And she sent us some cupcakes this morning just to thank us, right? So gifting is always great, but if you don't have the means to send that out after every milestone or for every congratulations, how much does it cost you to send a personalized video? It costs you 20 to 30 seconds of your time. So personalization, guys, can really help increase your appointment rate. It can help increase your show rate, and it can definitely help increase your retention. Okay. And if you're interested in a marketing audit, we offer free marketing audits. You go to growproagency.com/survey. Okay. So I'm seeing I got some questions in here. Emmanuel says, we've been having a hard time sending this. I've tried. What app do you all use? So it depends on what you have access to. You can send this through the high level app, which is pretty cool. Or you could simply just send it right through your cell phone at your school. Okay. Oh, Steven just dropped a bomb too. Steven, you want to explain that one right there?
Sure. Yeah. So as some of you may know, Market Muscles, we've spent the last 2 years building our own CRM platform. So full membership billing, communication, automations, rank tracking, all of that stuff. And one of the things that we support is sending video directly to your students or prospects through the system. So definitely been seeing that being used by a lot of our customers, and we're just getting ready to release our admin app. So this is for the staff owners to be able to shoot videos and pictures and texts and just send it directly through their phone, which is super cool. So yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And I mean, guys, prior to having CRMs that could do this, we would just utilize our, own cell phone. But being able to have it all in one particular place where you can see all the emails and all the text messages and all the communication that is going out is, really, really powerful. Okay. So those are the marketing trends. And, I just kind of want to harp on this. When Stephen and I were getting ready to do our 7-figure CEO 2022 marketing trends, we actually went through 10 or 12 different ones. We hopped on a Zoom for a while and we were discussing, because there wasn't really anything that was earth-shattering new. Okay. And that's what everybody wants, right? Everybody wants that new shiny thing. And it's very similar to your students wanting to learn 360 kicks and tornado kicks and, in MMA, the Superman punches, all of this stuff that looks really, really cool. But at the end of the day, what wins fights? The basics win fights, right? If I had an opportunity to choose just a handful of techniques going into a fight, I'm not choosing these jump spinning techniques. I am choosing the basics. And when you have a really solid foundation in your marketing and you are focusing on what I call the 7 levels of marketing, and you're leveraging companies that are experts, that this is what they do, this is what they spend all of their time on, you're going to win. If anybody else has any other questions, we've got about 3 minutes left. Go ahead and drop them in the comments below. While we're waiting for those questions, Stephen, anything you want to add?
I'm excited about 2022. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's going to be an incredible year. I know that we have a lot of big plans here at Market Muscles and Pulse for things that we're doing, a lot of content coming, which is great. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just overall excited about it.
I am too. And you know what I'm really excited about? I've been doing these webinars for 16 months straight, right? I made this decision about 1.5 years ago that I want to give back to the industry. I'm going to be doing them every single month. If you've been on any of our webinars, and even today, there's, not any hard selling or not. Guys, can you believe that some people in our industry use these bots in their webinars, where these bots go into the comments and say, oh, I just purchased XYZ. I mean, it's just not our style. And Stephen has committed to doing webinars every month, right? As well.
Gonna put it out there, Cris? Really gonna
yeah, I'm throwing you out. Exactly. I'm calling you out on this. Yeah, so Stephen's going to start doing some webinars as well, which I'm really excited for, because for me, progress is happiness. And when I'm learning and I'm able to implement, whether it's foundational strategies or new strategies, that's where I find myself the happiest. And we really appreciate you guys for coming on today, investing your time, and really leveling up your own education. Mr. or Mrs. Hamlin says, thanks for this. I needed this kick in the butt to get our video content going. Awesome. And if you want more on video content, I will be doing another webinar in January, specifically on that hook, line, and sinker concept. Grow Pro clients, you can expect this script in your inbox this week if you want to start, shooting those videos for January as well. All right. Okay, guys, we appreciate your time and we'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.